Got this email, rad@radradio.com. It's from Amber.
Hey, Amber.
Came in yesterday when she heard that Greg from Map Training, as in train with map.com, was going to be on. Says, I don't have any questions for Greg. I just want to send my praises for Map Training. I joined in May, and I am now down 42.9 pounds.
Oh, good for you.
Can't she round up to 43? 42.9 pounds since doing the Transformation Challenge, and I'm sticking with the program. Losing weight and staying in shape is much different in your 30s, but Greg, Daniel, and the whole crew of trainers have been amazing to help navigate through the last few months and give me the push I needed. For any maggots out there that are unsure where to start, definitely contact them. It was one life-changing decision I made that I do not regret. Okay, a little shade on what I'm guessing was a divorce.
Oh, no.
So,
That's actually amazing because, Amber, we really appreciate that because she went to check out some other gyms.
What? No.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, test the waters.
Sure.
And she still came back. She's having a great time.
who is this Daniel character she references, and what's he doing in my studio?
I actually found him in the parking lot, but here he is.
So you tell me there's a story, though. There's actually a really cool story about where he came from and what he's doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll leave it up to him. He'll tell it better than I do.
Hey, I'm Daniel. A lot of you maggots, I guess, have spoken to me in the past, and hopefully I get to know more of you. But I was actually a member of MAP before I started working here. And what I did is hire Greg for one-on-one training. I was at a point in my life where it was time for change. I wasn't feeling so good. I wasn't happy, but more importantly, I wasn't healthy. And I just knew I needed to do something drastic. So I met Greg. We hit it off really, really well. And we got to work. So eating well, working out, on a daily, really changed everything for me.
So, okay, for there's something wrong there, Mike. Can you just get really close to it until we figure out what's going on? Because you're not doing anything wrong. You're fine.
Okay.
Something with the mic. So, Wait a minute. When you say you weren't healthy, because I'm looking at you now and I'm like, okay, don't say anything wrong to this guy.
Right, yeah,
What
you
do you mean by
healthy.
how long ago was this?
This is about a year ago, actually, almost to the day. I think it's like next week was when I started with MAP.
So, what do you mean by unhealthy?
Tired, lethargic, a lot of mental like cloudiness, and I was just honestly I was depressed. I was really down, and I wasn't caring for myself. I wasn't giving myself any self-love. I was literally just a potato all day, every day. I know it's a weird way to say it, but like that's how I felt. And mentally, physically, it just wasn't a good time for me. So, yeah.
I mean, you would, and I'm not trying to like set you up here, but you would credit reaching out to Greg as being the life-changing thing that turned you from a potato into whatever you are now?
100%. 100%. It was, I mean, of course, I did a lot of the work myself, right? But like with Greg, we were able to just find ways for me to get out of my slump, right? Get out of the lazy habits I was in and just kind of just figure out a better way to be, right? And then that just days turned to weeks, turned to months. And I've never felt better. I mean, I'm 43 now. I mean, I know I don't look it, but
which can go either direction, right? Depending on who's saying it and what they mean. So, Greg, how do we go from client to employee?
Oh, it was great. I had 32 hours one-on-one to interview this guy. So it was wonderful. But honestly, it was one of those things where, coming in here and working with you guys and the rest of the maggots, we continue to grow. And I got a little bit slower in my response times. And Daniel reached out and he's like, hey, if you ever need help, I actually come from this kind of a background. I'd love to help you.
Nice.
And, that conversation probably happened 3-4 times. Then we sat down. I actually showed him what I was doing to help people. And he was like, this is exactly what I want to do. And he still tells me that pretty much every other day.
That's a great story. And speaking of growing, you mentioned the last time you were here, the big thing is you now have a second location, the Granite Bay Gym. And it is open.
It is open.
Even though we're doing the big grand opening at the end of the month, the Granite Bay Gym is open.
Yes.
Okay. So you the big grand opening is going to be September 30th.
September 30th.
11 to 2 UFC fighters are going to be on hand.
Yeah. So a big part of the Granite Bay Gym is we will have a large MMA program hosted by MMA Gold. If you follow the industry, you definitely know who those guys are. And some UFC fighters in attendance. And
I saw you've launched a second Insta page for the Granite Bay location, and I saw you've already posted you're doing yoga every day. Did I get it right? Is it today? You have 2 classes tonight?
I do.
Sculpt at 4 p.m., flow at 5 p.m.
You nailed it.
How many different instructors, yoga instructors you have working?
3.
And do you do yoga?
I keep telling myself that if it's in my gym, I will do it. I can't say I honestly have yet. I touched my toes this morning, though.
Good boy. And we always point out, very quickly, you don't even have to ever meet Greg in person at the gym. It's always great if you do. You don't even have to go to one of the two gyms. It's everything. He can do everything virtual. He can give you workout programs, but he does have now 2 gym locations in the Sacramento area: the original in Roseville and the Granite Bay location. And ultimately, what's so great about the Granite Bay location, other than it's a second location?
Really, it's the offerings. Our Roseville studio is amazing. It's our OG studio, but we can really only offer our one type of session there. The Granite Bay location is a full health club with saunas and locker rooms. So we're offering yoga, spin, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, personal training, challenger sessions, everything you can imagine on top of the nutrition and accountability coaching we already do.
Which one were you most excited about there, Kyle?
Kickboxing.
Kickboxing, still. Okay.
Yes.
It's at 8665 Auburn Folsom Road. Grand opening is the end of the month, September 30th, 11 to 2, but it is open now. And it used to be a gym.
It used to be a gym.
And so that was nice. You could absorb it and then turn it into something much better. And I don't know how much of this, if any, you want to go in, but you've given me some of the backstory. And one of the things that's always frustrating as a business owner is, of course, you just bought a new mansion, I heard, and I saw you drove in the Maserati today because the Ferrari, I guess, wasn't doing it for you. Because everybody just thinks that, oh, well, you're opening gyms, you own gyms, you're running businesses, you've got it all made, and anything that you do, you're just gouging me, that kind of thing. I mean, this is a huge. I mean, I don't know if you would look at it as the word risk, but it's an opportunity for sure. But what a flex, especially at this time in the economy and everything else. And I don't know how many people even understand that.
They don't, and I don't see it as like a flex or anything like that. It's more so, I mean, we opened the first gym in the middle of COVID, so bring it on. But the idea of like this gym is a lot larger, and it was a major step for us. So, we had to make price adjustments, because I'll be totally upfront with people, is the gym, the only reason we were able to take it over is not because we're some conglomerate now. Like, it's still just me and what I would call my friends running this company. It's they were losing $25,000 a month, so they weren't worth very much, which made it possible for us to get our foot in the door. And now with everything we're doing, we had to adjust the prices just to keep the doors open. And some of the members that have been there for 20 years are really upset with us, and I try to explain, I'm doing this for the better.
But your price adjustment was ridiculous. It was like $1 on one of the plans.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It really. I'm not trying to drive people away, but you did not like gouge them.
Never. And we do this because we want to, not because we want to make money. If that were the case, I'd be doing something else. But
and the other place had to go away, so
there'd be no gym if it wasn't for Greg.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so it would make sense. You'd have to increase the price a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like we're just coming in and changing the prices. We're also offering so much more, right?
Yeah.
We're a better facility, more, just more for them to do, more results driven, options. So
Yeah.
Is there a location where you guys are always at, or you're bouncing between both, or how's that work?
So right now we're a little split. I've had Daniel more in the Roseville location. I've been hanging out in Granite Bay a little bit, getting things organized, but we switch off.
Phone number is 888-989-9811. You can send in any questions. We always get into the nutrition stuff with Greg and anything else. It's Greg and Daniel from MAP Training at trainwithmap.com. Last time you were on a month ago, Alan emailed right after you left, and he said, I just spent a half hour listening to Greg about making good choices and exercise as I'm standing in line buying a soda and a bag of pork rinds.
Oh boy, that's early.
Gotcha.
Time for a change. Thanks for the inspiration.
I hope he made the change, because I haven't heard from Alan, so I hope he made some change.
I mean, and no joke, like Greg literally knows every single client by name. And sometimes it's got to be, which one is that? But I know, because you have multiple Allens or whatever. So every time you come on, you usually have like a maggot training or a maggot workout program that's ready to go, some type of challenge. What do we have this time?
So this is the Maggot Muscle Challenge, right?
Oh, but this is the one made for me. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. This is made for everyone. Every time we do something specific
man.
for the maggots, it's always been amazing. The results have been amazing, and we wanted to double down, right? So we've done earn the program free, and we've done, hey, we guarantee the results. So we're doing all of that, but we're also looking to really host up a champion, right? So in this challenge, we're going to do all of the nutrition, the fitness, the accountability, the everything, online and in person. But we're also looking to give away $1,000 at the end.
What?
Damn.
And it's simply for the most transformed person. And that might be physical. It might be mental. Got me.
You're transforming in front of us.
Right now.
The wrong way.
It might be it might be mental, but it's different for everyone. And we just wanted some incentive, because when we double down on the accountability and keep track of people and really help them work through the program, we know it's going to work. And now's the best time because kids are going back to school. People have more time available. And if you're not going to do it now, then when?
So how do they sign up, and what's the, because you also have a weird thing with that going on too.
So here's how we're going to do it. We took the ability to sign up online completely off of the website. So the only way that you can get in is if you are one of the first 16 people to join the challenge by submitting your information at trainwithmap.com. Daniel and I will be rushing out of here, answering all of the emails as fast as we can, but it is first come, first serve, and there are 16 spots. The only way is to talk to us.
And what is the information that they have to submit?
Name, email, date of birth, credit card number, first child. No, I'm just kidding.
Social Security.
Yeah, name and email. That's it.
Name and email. That's it.
That's it.
All they got to do. Submit that, but they got to be one of the first 16. And you guys are going to literally try to contact them immediately.
Right.
After this. And that's how they get into the program. When does it start?
It's going to start next Monday.
And there's $1,000 cash prize at the end.
Correct.
For the most transformable person, or whatever we call it.
I love, though, how you even included, like, mental. Because like that cannot be downplayed.
Like Daniel. I mean, I don't know. Would we give Daniel the prize if he was in it because of the physical or more for the mental? I mean, he was a potato, and now he's this.
Probably the mental.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Okay, so but you scare people with that accountability word. What does that mean, accountability? Because people are like,
if I really boil down accountability coaching to simple thoughts, it's helping you work through your problems. Because there's going to be hiccups. Just because you reserve 6 weeks to do a program doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It means that you're going to work through the problems that you've been blaming for years that you haven't started because of. That's what we're there for.
Now, do they have to be in the local area to be part of this program?
Absolutely not. You can be online or in person. The program will work exactly the same. Just a matter of whether you get to work with us in person or see our pretty mugs on the computer.
So it's trainwithmap.com/radradio, and then they've got it's just submit your information, but it's only the first 16. Name and email, that's it.
That's it.
And is there a button like for the challenge, the maggot muscle challenge or something that makes it
You can
obvious?
click any of the contact buttons, any of them. They're all going to go to the same place, and we'll be on it.
And you mentioned in an email to me that September is the high point in the fitness world. What does that mean?
Yeah, so there's weird times in fitness, right? Coming off of summer, everyone goes on vacation. They give up on their goals and themselves. It's really interesting. And then all of a sudden, the kids are out of the house, back into school, and September becomes this really like back to fitness time frame. And that's why we're doing it now.
We got an email here from Brian. Who says, I just wanted to mention some of my favorite things about Greg's programs. His amazing crew of people have helped me to feel so extremely welcome in the gym, and I have adapted that energy. He has great trainers that constantly push me to my limits and help me set and achieve new goals that I didn't think possible.
Aww.
The community at his gym is unlike anywhere else, and a big plus for me coming in is knowing that I will get to work out with some amazing members who uplift and challenge each other. His gym doesn't just benefit health and fitness. His program has helped me to build better habits in life that are helping me in my personal life. No more gaming. I've quit addictive social media apps.
Good.
I've implemented habits that improve my success and happiness, helping me reduce my depression.
Aww.
Greg and his program have literally been life-changing. I wanted to thank Rob for bringing him to us, maggots, and I wanted to let Greg and Daniel know that as of this morning, I am officially part of the 50 pounds down mark.
Let's go, Brian. Yes.
Now wait, did he round up? Is it really 49.9?
It just says 50.
Brian doesn't round up.
No.
He's very by the book.
He says, I'm so grateful to Greg and Daniel for helping me get to this point. I'm so grateful that their program exists. It enabled me to get where I am, and I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. What a great community, and I feel truly like a member of the MAP family. And the one thing they can't change is you're still a Brian.
He's a good example of, we're talking about the mental aspect, right? But Brian was the only person getting in the way of Brian, and he just needed a little coaching. And now the guy is, 50 pounds is 50 pounds.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's amazing.
Amazing story, Brian. Thank you so much, dude.
So we got the 6-week Maggot Muscle Challenge. You can sign up at trainwithmap.com. First 16 come and go. And you just have to give your name and your email information, and Greg or Daniel will reach out to you right away. But Melissa wants to know, what is the cost for the 6-week program?
Oh, man. This is a earn your money back program, right? So you're supposed to get the 6 weeks for free, and then we'll give $1,000 away on top of that.
We've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. It's back in the news, this Ozempic thing, where that people are using this diabetes drug for weight loss. And the thing that made my head spin last week was the Wall Street Journal, of all people, wrote an editorial that said, the verdict is in. Ozempic proves weight gain is not your problem. Your inability to lose weight is not your fault. Now, we might have to find a better way to do it, but Ozempic proves it is not your fault. And I know that's a hot button issue for you, but I also know there's a lot of people listening going, I've tried everything. I can't. Greg and Daniel can't help me. Go.
I'm trying to keep my thoughts straight because it's almost infuriating how this works. So the hyphen version, what Ozempic does is make you less hungry, right? And it basically dissolves you from the inside out. So you lose a lot of muscle, the scale goes down, you look a little bit deathly, but the scale goes down and you get skinny. Not healthy, right? Everyone that comes to me that says, Greg, I've tried everything. Daniel, they go to mom and dad, try to figure it out, right? Daniel, I've tried everything. And then I go, cool, have you tried 6 weeks of actually following a plan? Never. It's never the case, you know? And I've actually changed how I ask this question now. Instead of saying, hey, did you follow the meal plan this week? I go, of the 21 meals you were supposed to eat, how many did you eat from the meal plan? And they go, well, at least half. Sorry, don't say that proudly. That's not the answer. And neither is Ozempic.
They're saying it like it's an accomplishment that, hey, I did half of what I was supposed to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's still an F.
Good point.
This is what coaching is. Sometimes I'm nice, sometimes a little sour.
So there's all those side effects, but this message now that we're sending that it isn't your fault. I know that bugs the hell out of you. I know Dawn could fill the rest of the half hour with this, but I know that drives you nuts too because it's also so self-defeating. It seems to me. I mean, look, Daniel's sitting here right here. Whether it was weight loss or just getting healthy,
It's an excuse.
Right?
It keeps you it keeps you there. If you can make it other people's problem and not your own, or that it's not your fault, or the long list of why some people hormones.
Well, and that's exactly it, right?
And
this is where accountability is so important. It's like it's no one's fault, but like why prevent yourself from trying something that could work? You know, that's kind of where we come from. Is like, have you tried this? Like, I know from my story, maybe someone can relate with this. Like, I hadn't tried this. I hadn't tried taking care of myself ever. So this is it. I was like, all right, well, I'm not feeling good. I've never tried this before. I'm going to try it. And lo and behold, like, it actually works. But you got to put some time into it, you know? But it's so worth it.
Got a ton of emails coming in, rad@radradio.com. The 6-week Maggot Muscle Challenge is at trainwithmap.com. You just have to submit your information. First come, first serve. $1,000 cash prize at the end. Brianna wrote in and said, email sent. You are so amazing. I lost 30 pounds. Last challenge, I need to push myself to do more.
Wonderful.
Amanda says, I went to your session with Rob in Roseville earlier this year, and I want to be ready. Well, this morning, I finally sent you an email to get info about the Maggot Muscle Challenge. I'm done feeling like crap all damn day.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Rich says, I am trying to go to the MAP training website, and the maggots have already crashed the site. Thanks a lot, maggots.
Tech to you. That's your cue. I know you guys are up. We were texting.
They are. They are listening always. So we'll get that up and running very, very quickly. All right. Taylor wrote in and said, do you have any advice for hormonal weight gain? I had a baby and I'm currently breastfeeding and I need to be on birth control, but it's making me gain weight and bloat. Are there options or am I just doomed until I can go off of it?
You're never doomed. There's absolutely options. But again, this is something we touch on all the time. When you're dealing with something like that, you have stricter options. And small things like adding spices to your food can add up to pushing you in the right direction. But there's not a lot of leeway for you.
So she reaches out to you and you'll figure out how to help her or because this is also another, she's not saying it this way, but that's a great built-in excuse for a lot of people. Well, I'm on birth control. You know, that's a side effect.
Sure, you can go get a medication for that, I'm sure. But you can also just email me. We'll have a quick conversation. I'll point you in the right direction.
Which, by the way, that is the answer to the question that I was asking earlier about the Ozempic thing, right? Because we've talked about this before. The reason it's getting shoved down your throat by all sides of big media and everything else is the business side of it. It is, you got to pay for Ozempic. We have a shortage. Poor diabetes people that need it can't get it.
Oh my gosh!
But the whole anything that falls under the heading of nutrition, billions plus, right?
Absolutely.
Whereas what you do is just, it's petty. It's just, oh, yeah, that's cute. Sure. People can do their little work and not spend anywhere close to $1,000 and gain and lose weight or get healthy.
You could trade my program for a handful of coffees that you buy throughout the month. You know, that's really the difference.
Oh, man, yeah.
Other things that you guys do, because it's not just like the all of it and everything. It's also individual things. Like you will do just meal planning for people.
Absolutely.
And Kevin wrote in and said, I'm checking in to see if there are any pre-made meal announcements on the horizon. We've been talking about this for a while.
We have. I'm still working on it. This whole second gym thing really got in the way a bit. But
you're a little busy.
Yeah, we're still on that pipeline, so don't panic yet.
Joe says, Greg, so we also have Maptrition, which are all of your various Maptrition products, which include, first of all, there's the daily multivitamin for men and women. And so Greg wants to know, do you plan on creating a multivitamin for kids?
Oh, cute.
So I haven't gone down that path, to be totally honest. It is safe for them to take the adult vitamins. They just don't need as much. But they also don't taste like, Flintstones. So if you can get them to eat them, I don't have kids right now.
So if it was a kid, quote unquote, and this would be a broad answer, obviously based on age and height and weight and all that, but we take 2 of those a day. So maybe a kid would take 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of that stuff is water soluble anyway, so even if it was too much for them, it's not like they're going to overdose. They're just going to pass it on through. And I'll be honest, my 3-year-old son takes most of our supplements.
You just got word from tech to you that trainwithmap.com is up and running. It hasn't faltered at all. So if you go to trainwithmap.com, don't go to trainwithmap.com/radradio.